Hi, this is Ann Premazon. Let's talk about on-site SEO, what to do on your website to make it rank. You know, when you think about this, you have to really approach on-site SEO separate from off-site SEO. Sometimes they intermix, but you need to start with what are the key on-page factors. For example, when you're thinking about your website, you need to know about your meta information, the text that's on your page, the media information, links, and technical. And we'll go over these a little more in detail, but in essence, you want to be able to have all of these things really fine-tuned to the best of their ability so that your site has the best chance to rank. A guy that I took a class from years ago named Bruce Clay used to say that your best chance at ranking on Google is to be the best imperfect site that there is. And so you do that by really looking at all of these key factors. So let's start with an overview of some of these on-page factors. Now, sometimes when I see just writing on a page, it drives me crazy, but it's important to understand that there was an optimization penalty that was called over-optimization that targeted websites that had too many keywords stuffed into one page. So you need to really remember to keep it simple and themed. Each page on your website should target and optimize for one keyword phrase. And you want to support those with variations in LSI terms. Now, LSI terms really means if you were to have a keyword, for example, like SEO, an LSI term would be search engine optimization. An LSI term would be optimizing the website, optimizing your website. So there's been many different ways throughout the years that people have tried to keyword stuff onto a page, but I want you to just imagine one web page and you say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So those times have changed. And so let's go through some more of those. You really want to look at the title tag on the page. It really tells your website, really tells the search engines what your website's about. It should be 70 characters or less and include your business or brand name when possible. I always try to also include your name and city if you can. I think that really gives you an added boost. The tag placed between the header tags near the top for your HTML code is where your actual header tag is. And it's what shows on a search result page. So you want to target keywords, but also entice somebody to click. The meta description on a page of your website gives the search engines a little more insight into what your page is. So I'm going to show you what that is in a minute, but you've searched Google a million times, and when you see a listing on the website, the blue line that's underlined is your title tag, and right under it, what it says is the description. I suggest that you write your meta description with the human audience in mind. That includes the page's main keyword. So if you're on an internal page, you would really write your description to focus on that internal page, and if you're on the home page, vice versa. And this description, like I said, is what shows up on the actual search results page on Google. Keywords tag. Now, Google has stated for a long time that they don't even use the keywords tag. I was taught to include it as best practice. And when we do this, we always use our keywords by putting the longest at the front to the shortest at the end. So if I wanted to optimize on a page for search engine optimization, I would put search engine optimization before SEO, just as an example. And I understand there's a million ways to skin a cat. I still use the tag when I can. Using plugins for meta information, adding title tags, meta descriptions, meta keywords, other SEO options is easy. The all-in-one SEO plugin, the Platinum SEO plugin, and SEO by Yoast are very popular plugins if you're using WordPress. We use Yoast for most of the websites we build. They have premium versions, and we use many of their plugins and their premium versions for sites that we want to rank. I want to tell you all of the plugins work. It's just our preference. Okay, so now you have to look at some on-page factors, continuing looking at the internal links, because link building isn't just reserved for external sites linking to your website. You want to help a search engine by linking within your website. So I'm going to go into that a little bit more in just a second. But imagine whenever you're on a website and you see something underlined in blue, it's going to link to something. And when it links to something, it's either going to link out of your website or link to an internal page in your website. And that helps Google to really understand what you think is important on your website. And header tags, which we went over just a minute ago, lets the search engine know about each section of the content that's on the page. So before, when I talked about the title tag and the description tag, that was in meta tag information. So really, when you think about H tags or header tags, it's the H1 tags on the page. There should always be one H1 tag on the page. Then you can have H2, H3, etc. as it goes down. It really helps readers and search engines break up the content in digestible sections. I like to think of it almost like a newspaper. H1 is the main headline. And then as you go down, you see other things that are in bold. And you're saying to the search engines in the back, this is an H1 tag. Image name. You want to have file, title, and alt tags. If you use images on your website, which you should think of really related keywords for the image file name, the title, and alt tags. The goal is to optimize all images for keywords on the site. You can rank an image by itself. Remember that. So you want to help the search engines find good images for their image search based on keywords you specify on your image. Don't stuff these tags. Don't put a million. Not every single picture should have the same information, but you want to really be able to do it and really try to relate it to the primary theme on your site. And bolded text. Now, you don't want to get too crazy with this. Occasionally, bolding a section on the website is to get the reader's attention and can also help search engines understand what you think is important. But a bold code is different than a header tag, and we'll go into that. I'll show you that in just a second. So quality content can include text on long form pages or short blog posts, as well as theme images, video training, etc. Creating original quality content for your website is like bait to a search engine. They'll eat it up, and your visitors will love it and hopefully share it on social media. So remember, you want quality content. Here lately, I think that the ideal for a true page could be as long as 1,000 words. 1,000 words on a page. Sometimes they're much shorter. What we're doing for this test, we're building it a little shorter, but I wanted you to have that number 1,000 in the back of your head, because that's a great number to look at for a site that you really want to rank well on a home page or an internal page. We need to understand silos. Silos reinforce themes by grouping like content together under one highly organized directory. A minimum of 5 content pages are needed to establish the theme and must be named to reinforce the subject matter. Without a clear directory structure, visitors and search engines are easily lost as to the purpose and theme of the site. So a silo might look something like this. In the example below, I really tried to go with the automobile industry. So you can have your domain /trucks, and then your domain in the directory of trucks would be Ford trucks, and then Chevrolet trucks, and then Dodge trucks, and then Nissan trucks. So each level is getting more and more specific. So the overall word count, like I had said before, will vary on topic, theme, and keywords. Less than 250 words is rarely recommended, especially if you're trying to optimize your pages for keywords. Most posts are more like 450 minimum. And like I said before, 1,000 keywords right now is something that I'm seeing really do well. Again, quality content is key. The Google Panda update penalized low quality content. So if you repeated yourself a lot and it wasn't useful, you kind of got a little spank from the Google Panda update. Always avoid duplicate content. That is, let's say you're going to take a snippet from another site, you rewrite it. I mean, try to make it as original as possible and try not to have thin content. You want to show that your content is relevant to your theme, to your subject, and that your pages are all relevant to your site. So internal linking, always use fully qualified links. Remember how I showed this before in different videos, and you're going to learn so much in this course. But this particular piece, http://www.yourwebsite.com/page or file. This is the fully qualified URL, and it leaves no question by the search engine spiders or browsers where the file is located and what it's about. Your internal linking structure typically stems from your themed or siloed strategy. So the URL structure, the website page's URL should include the primary keyword the page is themed to attract. So, for example, www.sealbeachseo.com/best SEO agency. Most content management tools like WordPress will set the URLs up after. So you want to be sure to set those settings correctly so that you can have the URLs be as friendly as possible. You always want to have a call to action. Every page of your site should have a call to action. If your website is intended to do business in any way or achieve any goal, ask your visitors to take that action, whether it's call now, buy now, subscribe here, click to get this. Put the call to action above the fold. That means that they see it before they scroll down. Don't have a visitor have to scroll down to find what it is that they're looking for. Let them see it right there. Many call to actions are images. You can optimize the image file name and alt text for the primary keyword you're targeting on the same page. If you can make it text, I think that sometimes that's better too, but you can do either. Just be sure that you optimize the image for your call to action. Text navigation. You want text navigation, not JavaScript or Flash that spiders can't see. Menus usually are at the top of the site and have text in them. Make sure you have at least text navigation on the bottom of the page if there aren't any navigatable links in the top. But again, most menus are at the top. Have a robot.txt file. It's important that this file exists even if it's empty. The robot.txt file tells the search engine spiders what and what not to crawl and to index. So a sitemap. Your sitemap should have your website should have an HTML sitemap. This sitemap should be available and have all usable pages listed, and any normal visitor should be able to see it. And it should also have an XML sitemap. You submit that to the search engines. This is structured data that's not always user-friendly, and that's something that we submit via Google Webmaster Tools. Your sitemap should always have fully qualified URLs. Site and speed performance. So Google has said that site speed is a small ranking factor, about 1%. This is tiny, but it's rare for Google to say anything that has a definite effect. So take their advice. Listen to what they're saying. Users love things that move fast. They like responsive sites. They will feel more in control of their experience and consume your amazing content more effectively if it converts better. So really look at the site speed. You want to host it someplace that moves quick, and you want to look at what you're putting on the page. You want to be sure that it's responsive so that it can format to wherever somebody is looking. Ensure that your site is mobile friendly. Google has a way that you can check that, but of course most of us have mobile devices. We can just go look, and just in case you don't know what I'm saying by mobile friendly, it doesn't mean that you can see the website on your mobile phone. It means that it converts to be a mobile friendly website. You don't want to see a huge website shrink really tiny to be able to see it on your mobile phone. You want it to become mobile friendly. WordPress usually has themes that do that for you. It's called a responsive theme. Test your website on all your browsers. Just because you use Chrome, don't think it's going to work the same in Firefox. Just because you're a Mac user and you use Firefox and Safari, don't forget Internet Explorer and Internet Explorer, some past versions. You want to check every single thing, every single browser to make sure it's up. Have a 404 error page. That means that if somebody looks for something on your site that for whatever reason has disappeared and they land at your site, there's a 404 error page saying, hey, this page doesn't exist, but you can go here. Search engines like that, and it's the way to really look at on-page. It's a key factor. So, last but not least, we have schema code. Web pages have an underlying meaning that people understand when they read the content. Search engines have a limited understanding of what's being discussed on those pages by adding tags to the HTML of your website, tags that say, hey search engine, this information describes this specific movie or place or person or video. You help the search engines and other applications understand your content in a more relevant way. Microdata is a set of tags that was introduced with HTML5 that allows you to do this. So this is more advanced work, so it'll generally be handled by your content management system or plugins that you choose to use. However, be aware of it if not using a content management system. Good examples are Pinterest rich pins, reviews, videos, and other rich media. Another thing that I like is for example, recipes. Like you can literally go in there and put schema code on the back end that talks about these recipes. So when you think about what you want to look at, go look up schema code. It will tell you exactly what to do and what to put. We need to go optimize our site. So let's go take a peek and see what we've got. Hey everybody, hi, this is Ann Premazon. Let's go look at how we optimize on page, on our actual page. Each page of the site has to be optimized. I've gone ahead and logged into WordPress, and where I want to start is when we clicked on the plugin. I don't know if you remember, but I talked about the Yoast plugin. That's what they call it, just the Yoast plugin, but it's actually the Yoast WordPress plugin. I'm not going to go over the plugin in detail because there's so many things that it does. And on the right, you can see that you can buy some premium pieces. It's almost like it's actually called, you can buy plugins for the plugin. But I want you to see this because there's a way to take a tour and to really learn about this plugin. And each piece of this actually shows up on the page. So I'm going to go to all pages just so you can take a piece. I said take a piece, I meant take a peek. And you can see that this is green. We'll probably go to this page because it says it's good. Where this one says it's okay in yellow. This one says it's probably fair, maybe? I don't know. But each time that you start to build out your page, you're going to start to know what pieces you want to put together. And the more experienced you get, you'll get to know how you want to do this. A lot of times people want everything to be green and have it be good. I'm like that, but sometimes there's just a certain time that you'll know when to do it and when not, and I want to give you an example of that. So I'm going to edit the services page. That's the one that's green. When you're in here, I'm going to scroll down to the plugin part first, because right when you're here, you can see that it'll give you page analysis. This tells you the things that they like and that they don't. There's some advanced, there's some social. But I'm just going to stay on the general because what I really want to talk about is what's the focus of this page. So this page is the services page, and the focus keyword is search engine optimization. Now we know that it's search engine optimization in Seal Beach, and this is a services page that's focusing on that. But because Seal Beach SEO is an actual kind of same thing, SEO means search engine optimization, we already have that in the URL. So as you can see, I don't have it in the article heading because I have it called Seal Beach SEO Services, and the page URL says no. And I'm going to explain a little bit about why I did that. Whenever you put a title into a page in WordPress, it makes it an H1, and an H1 tells the search engines that it's very important. So if I was to call this Billy Joe Bob, I don't know why I thought of that, but I did. It would change the URL because it automatically would call this Billy Joe Bob. Now, the cool thing about this is if I did call this page Billy Joe Bob, but I wanted to edit this part of it, it would actually edit the name of the page right here. So the URL would change. So WordPress will allow you to have a name here and an H1 for your page and actually change the name of your URL. But for now, I'm keeping Seal Beach SEO Services. And as you come down, if I click in this area, I want you to notice that it automatically tells me that this is a paragraph. So from a code standpoint, that's how Google will see it. And when I click on social media management, it changes it to an H2. So we're keeping our tags all the way down from based on importance. You can see here within a paragraph this is blue, but this is an anchor text, and we talked about how that links out, how you write anchor text. Right in the right, I think we went over this when we talked about building a page. that this actually I can change the view from visual to code. So I can look at the code here and go look at everything. I can see that this is the actual link to the Facebook page. But I'm going to stay in visual because I think that it's just a little easier for this example. But I encourage anybody that wants to learn code or do that to please go and look at that. The way that you create a link in WordPress is you would just highlight this and you go up here and insert the link, and it walks you through exactly how to do it. I've got some links to my social profiles. I've got some links to my internal pages, and I've got a link to a Wikipedia page out of the site. As I start to scroll down, I come back into how I set the site up, and this gives me a snippet preview. Now, this doesn't mean that this is exactly what Google is going to show, but it tells you how Google will look at the description. So this says exactly what I wrote. Seal Beach SEO provides search engine optimization, social media management, local marketing, and reputation management. That's one sentence. That's exactly what it shows. It tells you in here that the description will be limited to 156 characters, and I have 36 characters left. So I could add something if I wanted, but for here I'm not going to. And then I have all of my meta keywords. And remember, I told you Google doesn't really keep track of keywords anymore. They say that they don't use that tag. But I believe best practice, why not put them in? Who knows when they're going to switch and go back to them. So for me, I use them. So as you can see, we've got every single thing handled. This is the title, how I've named it. So there you go. This is how you optimize an actual page. So now let's go look at, I think I created a incognito page, and I wanted to start by looking up Seal Beach SEO services, because that's what I was kind of doing a shortcut here. Let's look at this exactly. I don't even know if this page will rank at all, but let's look and see. And let's come over here and let's look at these services. So I'm in an incognito page. So I'm looking exactly for Seal Beach SEO services. I don't see it anywhere. I mean, I'm looking for it. I'm in an incognito page. I'm not on the maps anywhere. I'm looking down. I don't think this is me either. So all the way down, I do not rank for that page. I'm going to just go to page 2. We don't really care about page 2, but it's important to know kind of where we sit. And here we go. So I'm on page 2 for Seal Beach, for search engine optimization services in Seal Beach, right here. So I'm on page 2. What's good about that is it helps for a baseline to decide when we link what we want to push up. So I like that that's there. I did a search for Seal Beach SEO services. The site is on page 2. This same page, services at Seal Beach SEO, so Seal Beach SEO services, is on page 2 in 2 positions. Let's see if I have anything on page 1. We do, right here. We're in the map, Seal Beach SEO, so that's great. So we're on page 1 and page 2. Okay, so page 1 position, 2 positions, 3 positions with YouTube. So I'm pretty happy with that. Between page 1 and page 2, we've got quite a few listings. But none of the actual site is on page 1. It's all of the maps and local and citation video, which is awesome. And as you can see, this is directly to the site through maps. Seal Beach SEO, which is the exact name of the site, as of right now, let's see here, I'm on page 4, and I don't even think I was on page 4. Did I miss it? So I'm going on, so here I am on page 5, but this still isn't the site. Let's go back to page 1. I have plenty on page 1. So we rank on page 1 for Yelp, that's 1. Seal Beach SEO, that's 2. That's in maps. We can come down to Facebook, that's 3. That's how come we put our social links up first. And let's see here, so that's 3. If I go to page 2, I can come down, there's YouTube, that's awesome. So that's 4, I'm looking to see 5, because here's Twitter. So between page 1 and 2, there's plenty for me to link to on those keywords. I'm on page 3. Yep, here's our Google Plus. So that's great. So you can understand that we're trying to develop a baseline of where we're going to push links to so that we can rank our site. And we're looking to see exactly where we rank. And I'm pretty happy with this because we're ranking and our site isn't even on page 1. So how do we push? Remember, having a position on page 1 is just as valuable as having your site on page 1. So that's how come we do all of these little pieces. So again, I'm just going to come right back here, and we know that the site is ranking, and we know exactly what we need to push up, and for that we have optimized our page.